Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have a tier list here today. I saw it on the tier list site, and I thought it would be an interesting one to do. It's every AEW pro wrestler that's now in the WWE. Obviously, some of them were also in the WWE before this, but their current run and their current everything that's going on with them, I guess, is the best way of putting it. I didn't make this tier list, so if I'm missing somebody off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody too crazy. But I guess we got the best of the best. I guess A would be technically anybody who's doing pretty good. Mid would be like they're doing okay. Too early to tell as if somebody just switched over. And then trash. And yeah, unlike other tier lists, if you're new to the channel or well, used to the channel. Why did I say new to the channel? I tried to put these in like the most like even, but like this won't really matter because it's just not a normal tier list, I guess. I'm way too much explaining for no reason, so let's just jump into it. First, we got Aleister Black or Malachi Black in AEW. Honestly, I think so far he's had some a little bit of like a push, but it's not been anything too crazy. I guess I want to put him in mid. I don't think he'll stay there. I think his booking will get extremely better throughout this summer. I think right now he's just kind of stuck in a very stacked SmackDown division of like the mid card where he's not like going for the titles, so like he doesn't really have much to do. The mid card with Jacob Thought 2 in the US title is kind of stacked with people that are main eventers like Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, and then you got Solo doing stuff. It's just like there's not a lot of space, and I feel like maybe being on Raw or something would probably be a little bit better, and him versus like Penta would be pretty cool. I also feel like there's just a lot that we still have to come to seeing what he can do in a singles fashion because he's been in a faction for so long that I feel like he's got a lot more to go. Next up is Andrade. He's had great matches when he gets out there. He doesn't get a ton of screen time, which is unfortunate for him, but he just was in the Money in the Bank, and I think that's, a very good sign. So I put him in A. I feel like he's, down a path. I don't know if he's anywhere near any type of titles, but he does get some screen time, and he's in some type of smaller storyline. So I could see him, maybe getting a better shot. Now we have Mariah May or Blake Monroe. I'm gonna have to put too early to tell. Obviously, she's only been in there the least out of all of these people, and she hasn't really got any story yet because she's just started in there, but she is feuding with the NXT Women's Champion, so I think that's always a good sign. Next up is CM Punk. I feel like his run here has been great. I mean, the first year was kind of plagued by the injury, and this year so far it's great. He's going to have a title match at Crown Jewel, so I guess I'd put him in A because the best of the best feels like that should be only one person, right? I feel like I think that's the best way of putting it. Next up, we'll have Cody Rhodes, obviously the best of the best. I mean, he has to be up there. Um, I mean, he won the WWE Championship. He finished the story. He's the quarterback of the team. He's on every type of merchandise. There is no better spot to be in the WWE than where Cody Rhodes did when he came over here. And obviously, even not having a title, he's still all over the place and doing all this type of stuff. Next up is Ethan Page. I think honestly, if you just look at what he's done in NXT, it's been great. I don't know if it will translate over to the main roster. I think there's a good shot it will, but I think he's too vital for NXT right now that they can't move him up because like he's obviously feuding and has the North American title, so he's feuding with people and he has kind of like been a little bit of a mentor to the Vanity Project, which is trying to take over like Evolve. So like him being that focal point of maybe being able to do a little bit of both and maybe even show up on Evolve or at least do some different stuff. I think he's going to be a vital piece for this NXT roster going into the summer. So I don't see him getting a call up anytime soon, but I think obviously we should put him in the A because he's done really good. Jade Cargill has been a champion. Is going to be in the Queen of the Ring finals. So all of that screams an amazing start. I guess you just put A's. I feel like maybe I'll move Andrade to mid, I guess, because these other people are just at a different level. But yeah, I guess that's the best way of putting it. Next up is Lexus King. I'll be honest, I've never really liked his whole aesthetic and or anything. I don't think he's a bad wrestler. I don't think he's bad on the mic, but I just don't think it's it for me. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna have to put him in trash just because he got the Heritage Cup, but that's pretty much all he's done. And I don't think he's really in the focal point of going anywhere other than the mid card anytime soon. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put him in the trash. Somebody had to be there. Next up is Penta. I think Penta's extremely over. I think I could safely put him in A. I know it might be a little bit divisive for some people because like people will be like, well, he hasn't won anything or done much of anything, but like he's on the show almost every other week, and he's been in PLEs and done a lot of different stuff. He was in the Money in the Bank also. Like that's to me a huge thing for anybody, let alone somebody brand new. Next up is Ray Phoenix. Now, Phoenix has had some opportunities, and I feel like he's kind of on that cusp, but like it's hard to get some time on SmackDown, especially when it's going to drop down to 2 hours. I really think they need to figure out what they want to do with him very soon so he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. I'm going to put him in mid, but I feel like he's kind of like that perfect guy that go like right in between. Like he's had some really good stuff. The WrestleMania match, he's had uh, he was in the AAA Worlds Collide. So like he's been there and been around different stuff. But I think having that little bit of extra time that he wasn't able to come here when Penta first came in, I think is very vital to see where the two are completely not on the same page right now. Ricky Saints, I feel like he's like been pretty solid. I think he was obviously super hyped to be here. So like I think his hype was even crazier than what he was gonna ever accomplish right off the bat, just because there was no space at the very top for him. So he got the North American title and obviously dropped it already, but going back for it, I think altogether I would say he's pretty solid up there, but it just maybe needs a little bit more time, but I'll put him in mid for the time being. Miro slash Rusev. He's came back. He just does not have the same aura as everybody else. I'm gonna put him on too early to tell because obviously there's still more time. But like he feuded with Tozawa, Otis, and now Sheamus. Now if the Sheamus feud ends up being really good, this could help him out. But for the time being, I just don't think it's here. Next up is Sean Spears. I think like the culling is just not really working super well for him. I think the culling is going to be more of like a maybe an Izzy Dame thing. I think she's going to get probably the best stick out of all of this, but he did get a North American title run, but I just don't think it's enough to keep him out of the trash. I think he still is a valued wrestler down there in NXT, but I don't think at the moment they have anything else planned for him. But that's what I think. Tell me what you guys think. I feel like a lot of these people have gotten good opportunities, and I think they'll be in a position to get more opportunities later on. So it should be a good sign. Obviously, WWE wants to treat these AEW acquisitions as really good because you want other people to jump ship when they can. And I think they've done pretty solid. I think everybody in this mid category is still doing better than what they were doing at AEW. And I think everybody A and above is doing better than they were doing at AEW. So I think that makes it interesting. And then the ones on the too early to tell, we still got time. And obviously, even the trash, I still feel like they were still doing better than what they were doing beforehand. So at least there's that. But until next time, this has been Japan. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.